This is our waste oil, motor oil, vegetable oil heater, shop heater. Try to go through some details how we built this. Let's start with a drip feed. It's a 5-gallon bucket, and we connected a 3/8 ball valve to it. This is just a heat shield that we can slide up and down the PEX line. We use PEX plastic line, and it goes down to a gate valve that we modified, cut a groove in it to allow the drip to work better. And it goes to a 3/8 black iron fitting, and then to a bushing to bring it up to 3/4. Inside the T, we drilled a hole in the back of the T, and we actually tapped a barb fitting into the 3/8 black iron pipe. So we have a drip, you can see it there, just hanging down below the window through the T. That way we can see our stream of oil going through the T. Go down from there and right into our burn chamber. So we open our burner door. Inside the burner door is our burner and several other components. You can see the drip feed right here. I'm going to remove, this is a, you can use a brake disc. This is actually a harmonic balancer off of a diesel truck. It's just a heavy piece of steel to buffer the flame. And this is our burner. This is how easy it is to remove our burner. We're just going to tilt it up, pull it right out of the heater. Okay, this is our cap that we made for our burner. So there's two pieces. This is our burn chamber, our oil pan, if you will. And the way we built this is a 1/8 of an inch piece of steel plate, and then we wrapped around the steel plate a 1/16 of an inch steel plate, 3 inches tall. The diameter of this really doesn't matter. You build it to fit your tank. The diameter of this one is 13 inches. The inside diameter pipe is a 4-inch pipe welded to the plate. It's all sealed so the oil can't leak out. Now, this pipe is 4.5 inches tall. And the way this works is the air has to come through this door, up through the center hole, which is this hole, and then enters into this pot, which is larger diameter and taller. So it comes up, hits the top of this pipe, goes back down the sides, and then comes out of each one of these 90-degree fittings, which creates a vortex of air entering the burn chamber, or the burn pot. Another thing that this does, by designing it to where the air has to come up to a certain height and then go back down to here, if this pot were to ever fill up with oil, for whatever reason, it would smother the fire out due to the air not being able to pass into the oil chamber. The oil would plug the holes, the fire would go out. It's kind of a safety mechanism. I haven't tested that, but in theory it should work. Now, cleaning is simple. We just take this burner, remove the pipe off the top, scrape around in it to loosen up any of the debris that was from the previous burn. It's all dry. You can see it's very dry and easy to clean. So we're going to take this pot and we're going to dump it into the trash. And you can see, we have a nice clean pot to light our new fire in. Now, we're going to place the air hat on top of the burner. I've welded some nuts into the bottom plate of this to center the air hat, so we don't have to worry about centering. And then also, if you look on the bottom of the hat, I've left a lip, and that lip is going to set down inside this plate, so it will also center itself. Now, this is a 40-gallon water heater tank, and I just had this plate cut, 14-inch plate, and it sets down inside the tank, and I put some angle iron below it to stabilize it. So we're going to put our burner in. All it takes to install our burner, just drop it in like that. Now, we want our drip tube to drip between our air. So we kind of line that up. We're going to put our flame smusher up here on top of the air hat. And that's all it is to it. We're ready to light this thing. Now, to light the heater, first thing we're going to do is turn on the ball valve to allow the oil to flow from the bucket down the PEX line, down the PEX line to this gate valve. Alright, right now we don't have anything going, any oil dripping into the tank. It's empty. So to start this thing up, I actually have some diesel fuel with a little bit of gasoline mixed in with it. Be very careful. Very little gasoline goes a long way, just to make the diesel ignite a little better. So we're going to pour about a half of a cup of that liquid propellant into the burn chamber, and put our flammables away. And then we're going to hit it with a torch and light it up. Now, like I said, be very careful with using gasoline. You don't have to use gasoline. It just helps us make it start up a little faster. So here we go. We're going to light this thing. Now, my burn plate is, like I said, it's an 1/8 of an inch thick. It's pretty thick metal. And it takes that metal quite a while to get hot enough to vaporize the oil coming into the burn chamber. So I usually put my torch in for a while to help that oil get going. You can see we got a pretty good fire going now. We don't even have my oil introduced yet. So let's introduce some oil into the burn chamber. So I'm going to turn my gate valve, get a good flow going. And you can see that oil going right through there. That's about the size of that stream is about the size of a regular pencil lid at that point. You can see it down here. You can see the stream coming out of that 1/2 inch pipe. So, now that we've established flame, we're going to close our door, our burner door, not our air door. Our air door has to stay open. And listen to this sound. You'll hear it change. You hear that? So we're now burning on waste oil, and let's take some temperatures to see how this thing comes up in heat. These are 3-inch pipes welded straight through the tank. They're using those as heat exchangers. We'll add a couple more. Ran out of pipe. They hopefully will do a good job at getting the heat through the tank, capturing the heat in the tank, and I got a blower set behind that to blow through those 3 pipes. So let's see what we're doing. It still hasn't got vaporizing the oil good yet, so the door is at 120 degrees. The tank in between the heat exchangers, 126, 130. And it's going up from there, and we'll just let it go for a little while. Now I got my oil. My oil's going a little too strong, so let's back that down. That's a little better oil flow there. Back down to about the size of a pencil lead. Now, I was telling you about the heat sleeve earlier. The reason I did that is when full tilt, this thing will get up to between 800 and 1,000 degrees on tank temperature. So the PEX line was getting a little too hot. So just temporarily, I took an old hot water heater chimney exhaust tubing and placed over that PEX near the tank so it don't get too hot. We're using a 6-inch chimney. This is actually a fire extinguisher that I cut to weld into the tank to attach the chimney. A 6-inch chimney pipe. I've got about 15 feet of chimney, so it's got a pretty good. The flue creates pretty good suction. Let's see. I actually have this bolt hole. This hole where the water used to go into the water heater, and I'm going to see if we can look down and see into the flame. You can see what the flame looks like, possibly, maybe. Can't see it real well. Sorry about that, but the pipe's kind of in the way. But you can see that there's a good flame happening inside the tank. And let's check some temperatures. It's been a couple of minutes now. The door is up to 130. The tank where the heat exchangers are, I can't really see too much glare on the lens there. 122, 123. There we go. 123. We're still getting hotter inside. 128. So we're still looking at a stream about the size of a pencil lead, and you can hear the tank, the roar of the tank. I haven't got my handle on the door yet, so we're going to use a screw to grab here. Now, I can tell you that you can hear it slow down. Close this, create that vacuum. It's going again. So we're gonna sit back and see what happens here. So far, best we can tell, it's going to burn about, if we keep the tank around 600 to 700 degrees, it'll burn about 1 liter of oil per hour. We are currently burning burnt diesel motor oil. Maybe a little transmission fluid mixed in with it. It seems to do pretty good. It leaves a little bit of smut and ash in the burn pot, as you've seen when we cleaned it earlier. The valve there, if anybody has any questions about how we modified that, there's some videos on YouTube that explain it, and if you want me to, I'll be glad to take it apart in a different video and show how that was done. I haven't welded under I just noticed I haven't welded underneath the pipes. You can see the flame right there under that top heat exchanger tube. We just finished those heat exchangers a few minutes ago. Let's check our temperatures now. We're up to 281 degrees. Where our heat exchangers are, 233. And like I said, once it takes off and really gets that plate hot on the bottom, starts vaporizing that oil, it'll get hot pretty quick. It just takes it some time to get to that point with that thick plate. Well, Let's give it a little more oil. Maybe we can help it get there a little faster. Alright, that's probably double the size of a pencil lead. So we'll get it hotter a little faster for the videos, for video's sake. Yeah, we're getting there. 347, 350, 353. You can see it's climbing. Let's see between our heat exchangers. 260, 262, 262. Top of the tank, and we're still at 150. Our chimney temperatures are pretty good. We're only at 170 right now. Let's see what the inside of the heat exchanger is. Not sure if this thing's reading properly. I would think it would be hotter than that. 310 degrees. Front of the burn chamber, 389. 413. I'm going to pause the video and let this thing go. Okay, we've had time for the heater to come up to temperature. It's probably been maybe 10 minutes. I will recommend against water heaters for doing this. They're simply too thin. They're about a 1/16 of an inch thick, and as you can tell, my door is already warped bad enough. You can see quite a bit of the fire shining through there. Earlier, I think I had my temperature gun on Celsius. That's the reason my temperatures were lower than expected. I do have my fan turned on currently, so it is blowing a lots and lots of heat through those heat exchangers. So we're cooling down the tank somewhat with the squirrel cage fan back there blowing through it. We're still running at a pretty thick stream, a little bigger than a pencil lead. And let's show some temperatures now. The door, the fire door is up to 948 degrees Fahrenheit this time. The burn chamber in between, it's so hot, I'm going to have to back up, it's burning my hands. The air between the heat exchangers is 860 degrees. The top of the tank is 500 degrees, 470, 450, and the chimney is 430. Our chimney pipe is 462, 445. You can see it's pretty hot, and the heat exchanger tubes. There's no way for me to tell you how they work, but it is amazing at the amount of heat that is coming through those tubes. This shop is a 40 by 60 shop, and it's about 30 to 35 degrees outside currently. And inside the shop, I just shoot the bed of this truck. And inside the shop is 80 degrees, 79 degrees, so I really should turn the oil flow down a little bit because we're a little too hot. Let's back that oil feed down to about a pencil lead size again. That should keep the shop just fine. Plenty of heat in here. My son and I have built this together, and this is our Generation 2 heater. It works really well. Our Gen 1 heater, ignore all the trash over here, but this is our Generation 1 heater. It was a brake rotor, had a burn pot underneath the brake rotor, and had some a fire extinguisher that had drill holes in it. Went to small propane tank and into another fire extinguisher, 6-inch fire extinguisher for the chimney adapter. It worked pretty well, but it was significantly too small to heat this large of a shop. So this is our second generation. It works awesome. It's pretty easy to build. However, as I said, I would not recommend using a water heater for your tank. It is thin, it gets hot quick, but at the same time it's also very flexible. And the door, like I said, the door has already warped. I'll have to make a door or reinforce this one or make a thicker door, roll out a door that that diameter and put it on. Thank you for watching the video, and if you don't mind, if you liked the video, if you enjoyed it, if you want any tips or any questions about how we built it, please like, share, and comment. And I appreciate the time you took watching my video.